so excited. On today, we are sharing Becoming Michelle Obama's book. We've been looking forward to this for over a month and a half. I want to invite you to come on into the room. We have began the live session, and I want you to come on in. I'll be inviting others, and then once Iffy is in the studio, we will add her to the broadcast. I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this on today. Listen, we have the Global Empowerment Women Network. All you have to do is go out to Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and add us as a channel, LB Network. And you can watch all of the things that we are doing. Oh, I'm excited about us moving forward and the things that we are doing as a women empowerment group that's empowering women around the world. I want to take this opportunity as we are sharing with others. I want to take this opportunity to say hello to some of our partners in reference to becoming a part of our group, our Global Women's Empowerment Group. I want to say hello to you. That's Sister Jane Bennett, BC Kenya, doing an extraordinary job as you are sharing with others. It is amazing the work that you are doing. I'm trying to give others a chance to come on into the room for them to share with us. Iffy Obama doing, we started the Women's Empowerment Group about a couple of months ago. It may have been longer than that. It's really been about 5 or 6 months. And so with the purpose of empowering women all around the world, the group has grown. If you'd like to be a part of the group, all you need to do is send a message or follow us on Instagram, and you can become a part of the group. If you're in my Facebook friends, then you can send me a message and I will add you as a member. We're sharing with as many people as we can because we want to get this out here on today. I'm so excited. Michelle was our first lady, and what a first lady par excellence that she was when she was our first lady. And I tell you what, a testimony for women everywhere. And so I'm excited. I don't know about anyone else, but I've been looking forward to this. I was talking about the book. I ordered my book, my daughter and I, Nakia. We decided when the book first came out that we were going to read it. And so we took it on as like a partnership thing for she and I to do so that we would be doing something empowering together at the same time. And I have just thoroughly enjoyed reading this book, and just I can't wait to share all the information that I learned in reference to Michelle Obama. I love her even more now as going through and reading the book. I mean, she was very transparent. She allowed her life to be just shown on the pages. And so I have just been so excited about reading this book and looking forward to sharing it with you. And so we are just waiting for others to come on into the room. Some that sent me emails and said, girl, I'm going on the lunch in a couple of minutes. I don't want to miss it. I want to be a part of it. I'm trying to make sure that you get in there. In a couple of seconds, we're going to go ahead and we are going to begin. Listen, if you're interested in any of the things that we're doing, all you have to do, because we're live as well on our YouTube channel. So if you would like to just be a part of everything that we're doing, send me an email to Tanya Gibson Enterprises at gmail.com. That's Tanya Gibson Enterprises at gmail.com. And I will get you connected where you can be a part of all the things that we are doing. I'm so grateful and so excited to be moving forward with the things that we are doing at this moment. What a blessing it is for us to be able to just share together as women. We go through so many things in our life and in our lifetime. And for us to come together and share it is amazing. For me, it's just like a testament to all of the things that I'm striving to do as a woman in business, as a wife, as a mother, as a grandmother, all those things that I'm striving to do along with serving God. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you on today. I encourage you to invite your friends, to join in and be a part of Becoming, all written by author, our former First Lady, Michelle Obama. Oh, get excited in this place on today. As we're talking, I'm checking to see if he has come into the studio yet. She hasn't, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start because there's a lot of information that we'll be sharing with you. Oh, if you didn't already love Michelle Obama, I have to tell you, once this is done, you will love Michelle. She is just, oh my goodness, just a wonderful woman. Her life, her story. And I know as a woman myself, a lot of times when you're striving to make advances in enterprise as well as in ministry, in anything that you're doing, there can be different things that you encounter. But the thing that I love about her the most is that she didn't allow any of those things to stop her. She continued to strive. We're going to go ahead and we're going to stop the music for now. We're going to pause the music. I'm excited about this one today. Yeah, we're going to get started. It's going to start again, I think, here. But what we're going to do, we're going to turn that off there. I am excited. We're going to go ahead and we are going to get started talking about becoming Michelle Obama. I don't know about anyone else, but I am excited about it. Whenever Iffy comes into the studio, I will add her to our broadcast. I've had so many people say, when are you guys going to do it? Are you still doing it? And I want you to know that, yes, we are still doing it because we're doing it right now. I'm excited. Let me give you just a brief biography of Michelle Obama, and then we'll move into other things in relation to the book. By this being our first session of talking about chapter 1, I want to give you just an overview so that you're able to understand the book, the characters in the book, the historical context, all of that, as we are going through and sharing with you Becoming Michelle Obama. Let me give you this brief biography of Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama, I want you to know, was born and raised on the south side of Chicago by her mother and father, along with her older brother, Craig. She went on to attend college at Princeton University, where she majored in sociology. After college, she attended Harvard Law School, and after graduating, got a job at a corporate law firm in Chicago called Sidley and Austin. At Sidley, she was assigned to mentor a summer associate. And oh, guess what? That was Barack Obama, who worked for Sidley between his first and second year at Harvard Law. The two quickly began dating and married after Barack graduated from law school. Michelle then quit her job at Sidley, looking for something more fulfilling, and had a string of jobs working with the South Side community. First at City Hall, then at organizations called Public Allies, and then at the University of Chicago Medical Center. Michelle and Barack had two daughters, Malia and Sasha, in 1998 and 2001. Barack quickly became involved in politics, rising from Illinois State Senator to United States Senator, and then becoming the 44th president of the United States of America. Barack was president from 2008 to 2016, and Michelle and her family moved to the White House with him. During her time as First Lady, Michelle worked on initiatives called Let's Move, a children's health initiative, joining forces which calls all families to want to get up and move and for their children to be more active, as well as joining forces which focus on supporting military families and Let Girls Learn, supporting girls' education worldwide. And then she did the new White House garden. Michelle and her family currently live in Washington, D.C. Let me tell you, I have to tell you, I can't help but blush and glow from this. My daughter, Nakia Mariette Gibson, she had the opportunity where she interned for President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. I was so excited for her. She has the letters that she got from them thanking her for her service to our country and serving them. She got to take so many photos, being in the bowling alley there, bowling where the president would bowl, and being in the garden and helping to do just different things there. I was so excited for her. She was just so overwhelmed when she got to meet Michelle Obama face to face. And she told me, she said, Mom, it was just like an all moment. And so I was so excited for her that she got to have that experience. And what it did was it reminded her of her cause and her purpose for pursuing medicine. She's going to be a doctor one day, one of the top neurosurgeons in the country. Mama saying that to you, Nakia Mariette Gibson. So proud of all of my children. And I thank God for her and that opportunity that she had. What an amazing opportunity. Let me give you some historical context as we are preparing to go into the book. I want to give you some key facts. First of all, the full title is Becoming. When was it written? It was written in between 2017 and 2018. That's what Michelle shared. Where was it written? It was written in Washington, D.C. It was published November the 13th, 2018. The literary period is considered contemporary, and the genre is memoir. The setting is Chicago, Princeton, and Washington, D.C. Oh, the climax of the book is Michelle and Barack leave the White House. The point of view, I have to tell you, is from a first person point of view. This is what made me enjoy it so much, is that she was so transparent and she shared so much information of her life. Michelle's memoir, I want to let you know, we're talking about the historical context of it, focuses not only on events from her lifetime, but also on the historical events that shaped her relatives' lives and the lives of other African Americans over time. Michelle described how her maternal grandfather grew up in the South during the time of Jim Crow's laws that enforced racial segregation in the South and remained in place until the 1960s. Despite the U.S. Supreme Court's assertion that public facilities would be separate but equal facilities, hear me now, buses and education for people of color were often far inferior to those of their white counterparts. Additionally, this period of time was notorious for its discrimination and violence towards African Americans. Michelle's paternal grandfather moved to Chicago during the Great Migration, a period between 1916 and 1970, in which 6 million Southern African Americans began to move north, fleeing the racial oppression of the South and attempting to find industrial jobs. Often, however, when arriving at these northern cities, they would still face many kinds of discrimination. This prevented African Americans from accumulating wealth and often left them disenfranchised, both forms of discrimination that we know of. Michelle points out that there are still those types of issues generations later. This history is one of the reasons that Barack Obama's presidential election is so symbolically important to African Americans everywhere. Additionally, Becoming describes Michelle's significant role that she played and the experience that she lived through as he was going through the election, as being her husband, being a father, the election period from 2008 and 2012. And then it even includes some from the Donald Trump's election in 2016. Oh, I'm excited about this book on today. As soon as I see Iffy come into the conversation, I will add her on the screen so that you can see her as well, so that she can give some high points and share with you. Listen, I was so excited. I have so many notes that I want to share with you, beginning as we're talking in this first part we're dealing with. I want to move right to the plot summary of this book so that you'll have just an overall idea. Then we're going to move into chapter 1. I'm going to tell you who the characters are, because it helps if you're reading a book that you know who the characters are and what role they play. But first, we're going to do the plot summary and then into the characters. Oh, this is so wonderful to me. Michelle, I just have to say to you, what an amazing woman. What an amazing example. What a good mother. What a good wife. What a good citizen. You are woman par excellence. I am excited about this on the day. In case you can't tell, I'm excited. You should have been able to tell from the music when we started on today. Listen, Michelle Obama, this is the plot summary, grows up on the south side of Chicago. She was born Michelle Robinson, on the south side of Chicago, in a neighborhood slowly being deserted by white and wealthy families. Michelle's family, which includes her mother, her father, and her older brother Craig, is a very tight-knit family. They're a middle-class family living together in a small apartment upstairs from her great aunt Robbie and her great uncle Terry. Despite the fact that Michelle's family is not very affluent, she has a happy childhood, largely due to the sacrifices and investment of her family and the adults around her. She learns piano from Robbie. Her mother teaches her to read early, and she works hard to get a good education. I want our young ladies to really hear this on today. I'm talking to everyone, but I want our young ladies especially to hear this on today. She worked hard to get a good education. Education is key to moving forward and being successful in your life. I want to tell you that. Michelle's childhood is not without its hiccups and challenges. However, when she attends a piano recital, she realized that she has only ever played on one with broken keys. Her father has multiple sclerosis and his body is slowly deteriorating, despite the fact that he insists he feels fine. And once, when Michelle and her family visit some family friends in a predominantly white neighborhood, they return to their car and find that someone has keyed a deep gash into it. Still, Michelle doesn't let these challenges get her down. She works hard in school, and despite a guidance counselor's doubt, she gets into Princeton. I'm just giving you the plot summary so that you'll be able to follow along as you are reading. Michelle graduates magna cum laude with a degree in sociology, but she just doesn't stop there. She truly considers what her passions are, and instead she dives right into Harvard Law School, knowing that it will give her a degree of validation and certainty about what her future might look like. After law, she moves back to Chicago, joins a family firm. We already said that, Sidley and Austin. A year into working at Sidley, Michelle agrees to mentor an incoming summer associate, and she is assigned Barack Obama, and we know the rest of that is history. Listen, Michelle leaves Sidney and Austin to begin what will become a series of jobs that help the community. Oh, she is one for change. She is one for the advancement of our people. She is one for the advancement of women. Oh, I'm just so excited to be sharing this with you. It was such a great honor for me to read this, for her to share so much of her life. Let me give you some of the major characters. I'm still waiting for Iffy to come into the studio so that I can add her. I sent her the link there in case she's wondering. I sent you the link there in your messenger that you can click on, and you'll be able to join us in the studio as we are sharing the information with you. Here are some of the major characters that you will experience as you are going through and reading Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. The major character, as we know, is Michelle Obama, the author and the protagonist of Becoming. Michelle is born Michelle Robinson and grows up in the south side of Chicago. And then she goes on from an early age. She has strived to excel. Some of the other characters that are in the book, our president, former president, Barack Obama, Michelle's husband, and the 44th president of the United States. Barack is the son of a white Kansan mother, Ann Durham, and a black Kenyan father, Barack Obama Sr. He is born and grows up in Hawaii, and through his parents' marriage is short-lived, even though they were only married for a little bit. His mother prioritized making sure that he got a good education. I'm so inspired by this whole family that education was key. One of the other key characters in her book is Michelle's mother. Michelle's mom, named Marion Shield Robinson. Michelle's mother works hard to make sure that her children get a good education. She teaches Michelle to read early. And when Michelle comes home from second grade and complains about her teacher's incompetence, Michelle's mother gets her placed in a third grade class instead. Michelle's mother also makes a great deal of sacrifices, not only for her kids, but also for Michelle's father. Sometimes Michelle's mother does not work so that she can take care of Michelle and Craig. Sometimes she works so that she can fund Michelle and Craig's college education. Michelle's mother spends a good deal of time, we're talking about during the book, good deal of time caring for her husband and his medical needs as he lives with multiple sclerosis. Michelle's mother's supposed support of her daughter, if I can read here today, extends into time in the White House as she moves to Washington with the family. Oh, I love seeing her mother there in the White House. And you'll get to read some things throughout the book. And she really helped to keep things in order. See, I grew up with an African-American mother, so I know she helped to keep things in order. What a testament to her as a mom that she was able to go on and be I consider her like the first mom of the United States of America, as she was there helping and serving that term, those two terms, with her daughter and our President Barack Obama. Then Malia Obama, Michelle and Barack's eldest daughter, born on July the 4th, 1998. When Malia is 18 months old, Barack and Michelle travel to Hawaii and she spikes a high fever. Barack, despite needing to return to Illinois to vote on an important crime bill, understands his need to prioritize his family and stays to make sure that his daughter is okay. Then Michelle's dad, named Fraser Robinson III. Michelle's father had been diagnosed in his 30s with multiple sclerosis, but throughout his life, he largely ignores his declining health. Instead, he works hard. They're a hardworking family at a filtration plant in order to make sure that Michelle and Craig can get a quality education. Michelle admires his fortitude, but also tries to get him to see a doctor when it becomes clear that he's having trouble walking. After that development, he is quickly hospitalized and passes away from a heart attack due to complications from MS when Michelle is 27 years old. Sasha Obama, Michelle and Barack's younger daughter, born on June the 10th, 2001. Sasha arrives in the family. Arrival in the family prompts Michelle to evaluate her priorities and to wonder whether the family would be better served by Michelle staying home. However, Michelle then takes a baby Sasha to a job interview to demonstrate her need for a competitive salary to afford childcare and flexible time to be with her daughters. She gets the job and decides to remain at work. Sasha is 7 years old when Barack is elected president, and like her sister Malia, experiences both the privileges and the responsibility of growing up in the public eye in the White House. Then her brother Craig, Michelle's older brother, Craig and Michelle are very close growing up, and he often breaks ground for her in school because he is a very good student as well. Craig is also a great basketball player and is recruited to Princeton, which is what inspires Michelle, so that you'll know, where did that come from? It came from her brother Craig. That's why I try to share with other young ladies, and especially those that are the older sibling, that your other siblings are watching you. You're their inspiration. They're following in your footsteps. It doesn't matter if you're the first child, second child. When there's others behind you, you have to be that inspiration to help your brothers and sisters get to where it is they're trying to go. I'm so inspired by this story. Like many of Michelle's other relatives, Craig has experienced discrimination from an early age. When he got a new bike, listen to me, a policeman stopped him, disbelieving that he could have acquired the bike in an honest way. Then there's Suzanne Alil, one of Michelle's closest college friends. Hopefully I said her last name correct. If I didn't, I apologize for that. They were close friends personality-wise. She and Suzanne are very different despite their close friendship. Suzanne often prioritizes fun over making a practical choice. Michelle initially judges her for this, but when she passes away from an aggressive cancer at 26, Michelle realizes that Suzanne's way of doing things may have been right, and Michelle tries to find more fulfilling work in her own life. Then we have Robbie, who was Michelle's great aunt. We have Hillary Clinton, Barack's main competitor for the 2008 Democratic nomination. We have Valerie Jarrett, Michelle and Barack's colleague. Michelle meets Valerie when she interviews with Valerie for a job at City Hall in Chicago. Valerie is also a working mother who gave up corporate law to find work that is more fulfilling. Michelle eventually introduces Valerie to Barack, and Valerie becomes Barack's finance chair for his Senate campaign and a senior advisor to him while he is president. Then there's Dandy, Michelle's paternal grandfather. Dandy grew up in South Carolina during the Great Depression before moving to Chicago in what became known as the Great Migration. Michelle knows that Dandy is often irritated and bitter, but she understands that this is due to generations of oppression that had manifested itself in very limited opportunities for Danny to work and find social mobility. Then we have the Reverend Jesse Jackson, a firebrand Baptist preacher who becomes a political leader as Michelle is growing up. Jackson had worked with Martin Luther King and becomes the second African American to run a serious national campaign for president. He calls for African Americans to shake off ghetto stereotypes, preaching messages of hope that Barack will echo if you follow along in his own campaign for president. In high school, Michelle becomes friends with Jackson's daughter, Santita, and they become friends. Harold Washington, the first African-American mayor of Chicago, who was elected in 1983. He ran on the ideas of progressivism and inspired many young people of color to get involved in politics, including both Barack and Valerie Jarrett. Washington served in office for 4 years before passing away from a heart attack. Then we have Terry, Michelle's great uncle. Terry lives downstairs from the Robinson along with his wife, Robbie. Like Robbie, Terry's life has also been deeply affected by the limited opportunities available to him as a Black man. Terry was once a Pullman porter on an overnight passenger rail line, a job that made him very subservient, and he didn't like that. Southside, Michelle's maternal grandfather, Southside had grown up in the South during the time of Jim Crow before moving to Chicago. He is often mistrustful of the people and white people in general as a result of the discrimination that he experienced as a child. He also introduces Michelle to her love of music. Also, minor characters that you'll experience as you're reading the book: Reverend Jeremiah Wright, a pastor of Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago. He officiates Michelle and Barack's wedding. Later, Michelle and Barack they're scrutinized as him being their pastor because of a sermon that he preached. Then we have Cecily Russell, I want to make sure I'm saying it right, a mentor, Michelle, who worked at the Third World Center at Princeton, a student center meant to support students of color. We have Sam Cass, a young man Michelle and Barack hired during the campaign to cook meals for their family. After Malaya body mass index starts to creep up, Sam helps Michelle plan the garden in the White House and helps her with her children's health initiative. Then Ann Dunham, Barack's mother, who grew up in Kansas and met Barack Obama Sr. in college in Hawaii. Their marriage was short-lived, but Ann always made sure that her son felt loved and got a good education. Ann passes away during Barack's campaign for the Illinois Senate. And then we have Adia Pendleton, a 15-year-old honor student from the south side of Chicago, who performed in the inaugural parade. 8 days after the inauguration, she was shot and killed in Chicago. Michelle attended her funeral. Barack Obama Sr., Barack's father, a Kenyan man who married Barack's mother, Ann Dunham, after they attended college. Barack Obama Sr. died in a car crash when Barack, that's so sad, when Barack was 26 years old. Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, is mentioned. John Kerry, the Democratic nominee for the president in 2004. He's mentioned. John McCain is mentioned. Jill Biden, David Axelrod, Bill Clinton, John Edwards, George W. Bush, Laura Bush, Santita Jackson, Grandma, Michelle Fraternal Grandma, and Danny's wife, Joe Biden, Kevin, Cindy McCain, Melanie Trump, and Art Sussman. Listen, I am just so elated that we are getting ready to go into talking about this book. I have been waiting and giving Iffy the opportunity to chime in, but I wanted to go ahead and share the main characters and the minor characters with you, along with the plot for this. This is just a wonderful book for you to read. It's a wonderful book for you to buy as a gift. I would encourage you to share this with others. I read a lot, and I was so inspired by this book. I just have to share that with you. I was so inspired by reading this book. I really, really, really was inspired. I'm going down here and I'm starting in chapter 1. I'm hopeful that Iffy will come in. If not, we will continue on with chapter 1. Listen, much of Michelle Obama's childhood is spent listening to sounds. Here's the thing, and the message that comes from what she hears, what she experienced around her is the word strive. Her family lives in a second floor apartment on the south side of Chicago, where her great aunt Robbie and her great uncle Terry live on the floor below them. Listen, I'm inspired by this just to see. I grew up in the South. So a person that grew up in the South, you understand the plight of this family, some of the things that they experience as you're reading and you are going along. Then the opening passage of Becoming exemplifies one of its key things. Yeah, and that is for, if my page will come back here, because I made some notes. I wanted to make sure that I get everything. The opening passage of Becoming exemplifies one of its key things, optimism. The word striving is all through that. I indicated that to you a minute ago. As Michelle uses here, she highlights a core value that she will carry with her for the rest of her life. Striving implies that someone is working hard, and also that they have optimism that the future can get better. This word perfectly fits with Michelle's ideas. Oh, then the sound of the piano fills Michelle's bedroom. I want you to make sure you go and you read this. Michelle's bedroom and the living room. The only respite coming when her father turns on the Cubs game on TV. Michelle writes that America is in the midst of a massive and uncertain shift at the tail end of the 1960s. The Kennedys are dead. Martin Luther King Jr. has been assassinated. The Vietnam War is beginning, and white families are moving out of Chicago in groves. Even at the very beginning of the book, I want you to understand, Michelle starts to slip in allusions to the racism that permeates American society and politics during that time. Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination is very foreboding, considering his position as a groundbreaking black man. The specter of his assassination, it will worry Michelle as Barack rises to greater and more prominent position. She feels that it will open him up to greater and greater criticism and acts of hate. Michelle is largely ignorant of the politics around her, as she is only a young girl. We're talking about at the beginning of the book. At that time, her family is the center of everything. Michelle's mother teaches her to read early. Her father teaches her and her older brother Craig to love jazz and art. Michelle and Craig are about 2 years apart, and they are very close. The neighborhood in which Michelle lived as a baby it's just a place that her family wanted to move from. I tell you, it was considered to be a post-World War II housing shortage for Black working class families. But the neighborhood would later, it was meant for one thing, but it would later deteriorate under the grind of poverty and gang violence, becoming one of the city's most dangerous place to live. Now, as a young girl, Michelle lives in a nicer neighborhood on Euclid, if I can say it right, Avenue. Her family's upstairs apartment, she writes, was probably meant for 1 or 2 people, but her family finds a way to make it work. There's sometimes friction between the upstairs and downstairs. She and Craig are noisy and young, while Robbie and Terry are older and a little grouchy, Michelle thinks. But Michelle acknowledges that Robbie and Terry had grown up in a different era than her. Robbie had once sued Northwestern University for discrimination when she tried to take a music workshop there and had been denied a room in the women's dorm. Terry had once been a Pullman porter on an overnight passenger rail line, a profession made up entirely of Black men who kept their appearance immaculate while tending to the needs of trained passengers. Michelle sees how the job has made him perpetually subservient, never asserting himself in any way. Michelle decides to learn piano at the age of 4. We're going through just chapter 1. By this point, she feels like she already had learned piano, if only by osmosis. She sees Robbie as someone to win over, as Robbie demands excellence from every kid who sits at her piano bench. Robbie teaches Michelle how to find middle C on the piano. Helpfully, on Robbie's very old and battered piano, middle C has a corner missing. Piano comes naturally to Michelle as she comes from a very musical family. Her grandfather, whom she and Craig call Southside, is particularly influential, introducing her to the music in his vast record collection. Southside doesn't trust a lot about the world. He doesn't trust dentists, the police, and often doesn't trust white people, being the grandson of a Georgia slave and growing up in Alabama, oh, that's where I'm from, during the time of Jim Crow. Music that Michelle writes is an antidote to his worries. He buys Michelle her first album and keeps a special shelf at his house for her favorite records. For me, I guess that music piece, my father and my mother and my family they could sing, and but my father, with that love for music, he shared so many different forms of music with me, and so I fell in love with music in general. Michelle and Robbie might. Okay, I missed the spot. At home, Michelle continues to work at piano. She acknowledges that she is no less fumbling, but that she is more driven than other students. And that will follow her through her life, that she's driven. She is encouraged by the fact that the more she practices, the more she achieves. And she is excited when Robbie is pleased by her abilities. Michelle and Robbie might have continued their lessons very pleasantly, except that Michelle starts to peek ahead in the book and attempts new songs during her practice session. This makes Robbie angry, chastising Michelle for going ahead. Michelle, in turn, is stubborn and asks why she can't learn new songs. Michelle's mother and father are amused by her feud with her aunt, with Robbie. Michelle explains that they usually don't intervene in matters outside of school. They appreciated her feistiness, and she is glad that they keep that flame going in her. But here's the thing. She learns that she has to respect her aunt. Once a year, Robbie holds a fancy recital for her students at a nice rehearsal hall, and Michelle's father drives her there. Michelle writes about her father's devotion to his car, which he calls the Deuce and a Quarter. He keeps the car immaculate, and the family loves driving together. Years later, Michelle realizes that the car truly represented to her father. In his 30s, hear me now, Michelle's father began to feel the effect of multiple sclerosis, a neurological disease that involves a long and probably painful slide towards immobility. And so to her father, the car epitomizes a kind of freedom and the relief of being mobile. At the recital, Michelle is nervous, and when it is her turn, she walks up to the front of the room to find a pristine baby grand piano. She is ready to play. She's practiced her song, but she realizes she can't find middle C. Why? That stuck out to me because on her Aunt Robbie's piano, that part was missing. There was a part of the key missing, so she could immediately identify what was the middle C. Listen, Michelle grows in a panic, unable to start. But then she sees Robbie come towards her. Robbie lays one finger on middle C and smiles very encouragingly at her. Listen, I am getting pumped up about sharing this with you on today. It is such an enlightenment. I'm looking forward to us as we move to chapter 2. You'll see the flyer going up as we're going to discuss chapter 2. But I want to make sure I thank Iffy for being my partner in this endeavor. She will definitely be on for chapter 2. In chapter 1 here, we covered an introduction of who Michelle Obama is. What a great woman. Oh, yeah, woman par excellence. Beautiful woman, style. Oh, my goodness, tenacity. Just a wonderful woman. I also talked about the historical context of her life, the focus of the book. I gave you the key factors of the book. You can order the book on Amazon. You can go to Google and type in Becoming by Michelle Obama, and it'll show you so many places where you can purchase the book. You can get it in audio, you can get it in hard copy, you can get it on Kindle. Any of those ways, it's available for you to purchase. I purchased mine on Amazon. Then I talked about the plot summary. I gave you how it was set up, the setting, what was going on during that time. I talked about the major characters, the minor characters that were in the story as well. This has been such a joy sharing this with you on today. I am hopeful that you will tune in with us next time as we continue to empower women around the world. Thank you today for being a part of our Purpose Women's Book Club and our sharing of chapter 1, Becoming Michelle Obama. Thank you.